Hey, beautiful Cancer souls. I just finished doing this reading for you, and honestly, I am getting goosebumps because the message that came through is so powerful and unexpected. When I asked the cards about how your adventure spirit is healing your soul right now, the energy that showed up was absolutely incredible. You know, as a Cancer, people always think of you as the homebody, the one who loves their comfort zone, their cozy spaces, their familiar routines. And while that's definitely a part of you, there's this whole other side that's been awakening lately, and the cards are showing me that this adventurous energy isn't just fun and games. It's actually doing some serious soul healing work for you right now. So let me tell you what I'm seeing because this is fascinating. I shuffled the cards with your energy in mind, asking specifically about this adventure spirit that's been calling to you and how it's transforming you from the inside out. The first card that practically jumped out of the deck was the Seven of Pentacles. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Seven of Pentacles for adventure? But hear me out, because this is where it gets really interesting. This card is showing me that your adventure spirit isn't about those wild, impulsive trips or extreme sports. Your version of adventure is so much more thoughtful and intentional. The Seven of Pentacles is all about patient cultivation, and what I'm seeing is that you've been carefully nurturing this adventurous side of yourself. Maybe it started small, maybe it was just saying yes to that coffee shop you'd never tried before, or taking a different route home from work. But you've been slowly, steadily expanding your comfort zone, and each little step has been like planting a seed in your soul. This card is telling me that your adventure spirit has been growing in the background for months, maybe even years, and now you're starting to see the fruits of all that careful cultivation. The beautiful thing about your approach is that it's sustainable. You're not burning yourself out with constant stimulation or overwhelming experiences. Instead, you're allowing yourself to grow into this new version of yourself, naturally. What's really healing about this energy is that it's teaching you that you don't have to choose between security and adventure. You're learning that you can be both the nurturing, comfort-loving Cancer and the curious explorer. This integration is literally healing parts of your soul that felt like they had to be one thing or the other. The next card that came through was the Page of Swords. And this one made me smile because it's showing me your intellectual curiosity has been activated. Your adventure spirit isn't just about physical exploration, it's about mental and emotional exploration too. This page energy is so fresh and eager to learn. I'm seeing that you've been approaching new experiences with this wonderful beginner's mind lately. Maybe you've been researching places you want to visit, learning about different cultures, picking up new skills, or just asking more questions about the world around you. This Page of Swords energy is showing me that your mind has become this sharp, curious tool that's cutting through old assumptions about yourself. The healing aspect here is profound because this intellectual adventure is showing you just how capable and smart you really are. Sometimes Cancer energy can get stuck in emotional patterns, going around in circles with feelings and intuition. But this Page of Swords is bringing in this crystal clear mental energy that's helping you see things from completely new angles. You know what's beautiful about this combination? Your emotional intelligence as a Cancer is now being enhanced by this sharp, curious mind. You're not losing your intuitive gifts. You're just adding this whole new dimension to how you process and understand the world. And that's incredibly healing because it's making you feel more whole, more complete. I'm also getting the sense that this intellectual adventure has been helping you communicate better. Maybe you're expressing yourself in ways you never thought possible, or maybe you're finally able to articulate dreams and ideas that have been floating around in your heart for ages. Then we have the Eight of Cups. And oh my goodness, this card is showing me the courage it takes for a Cancer to embrace adventure. This isn't easy for you, and the cards acknowledge that. The Eight of Cups represents that moment when you have to leave behind what's familiar and comfortable to pursue something that calls to your soul. What I love about this card in your reading is that it's showing me you're not running away from anything, you're walking towards something. There's this beautiful sense of purpose in your adventurous spirit. You're not seeking adventure just for the thrill, you're seeking it because some deep part of you knows it's exactly what your soul needs right now. This card is telling me that there have been moments, probably recent ones, where you've had to make the conscious choice to step away from certain comforts, certain familiar patterns, maybe even certain people or situations that were keeping you small. And each time you've made that choice, each time you've chosen growth over comfort, you've been healing something fundamental in your soul. The Eight of Cups is also about emotional maturity, and I'm seeing that your adventure spirit is actually making you more emotionally sophisticated. You're learning that you can handle uncertainty, that you can navigate new situations, that you can trust yourself in unfamiliar territory. This is huge healing work for Cancer energy, which often struggles with anxiety about the unknown. What's really beautiful is that this card is showing me you're not abandoning your Cancer nature, you're expanding it. You're still deeply caring, still incredibly intuitive, still protective of the people you love. But now you're also brave. Now you're also willing to venture into uncharted waters when your soul calls for it. The fourth card that came through was the Three of Wands, and this one is all about expansion and looking towards the horizon. Your adventure spirit has been opening up your entire perspective on what's possible for your life. This card is showing me that you're no longer content with just dreaming about experiences. You're actually planning for them, preparing for them, making them real. There's this wonderful sense of anticipation and possibility that comes with this card. I'm seeing that your soul has been craving this feeling of expansion, this sense that there's so much more to explore and experience. And the beautiful thing is that you're approaching it with such wisdom and planning. The Three of Wands is also about partnerships and collaboration, and I'm getting the sense that your adventure spirit is attracting like-minded people into your life. Maybe you're finding travel companions, maybe you're connecting with people who share your curiosity about the world, or maybe you're just finding that when you embrace this adventurous energy, you naturally attract others who support and encourage your growth. This is healing your soul because it's showing you that you don't have to choose between connection and adventure. As a Cancer, relationships are so important to you, and there might have been this fear that embracing adventure meant sacrificing closeness with others. But this card is showing me the opposite is true. Your adventurous spirit is actually deepening your connections and attracting more meaningful relationships into your life. The fifth card is the Ace of Pentacles, and this one is showing me that your adventure spirit is creating real, tangible opportunities in your life. This isn't just about feeling good or having fun experiences, although those are important too. This is about your willingness to explore and try new things, actually opening doors that wouldn't have been available to you otherwise. I'm seeing new opportunities for income, new career possibilities, maybe even new living situations that are coming available because you've been willing to step outside your comfort zone. The Ace of Pentacles represents new beginnings in the material world, and your adventure energy has been shaking things up in the best possible way. What's healing about this is that it's showing you that taking care of yourself, pursuing what excites you, following your curiosity, these aren't selfish acts. They're actually ways of creating abundance, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. When you honor your adventurous spirit, you become more prosperous, more creative, more able to contribute to the world. This card is also telling me that your soul was actually craving this sense of practical adventure. Not all adventure has to be about spiritual enlightenment or emotional breakthroughs. Sometimes the soul heals through very practical experiences, through learning new skills, through engaging with the physical world in new ways, through creating something tangible that reflects your growth. The sixth card that appeared was the Hermit, and this might seem contradictory to the adventure theme, but it's actually perfect. Your adventure spirit isn't about escaping from yourself or avoiding inner work. It's about finding new ways to connect with your inner wisdom and guidance. The Hermit shows me that your adventures, whether they're big trips or small daily explorations, are actually times when you connect most deeply with yourself. Maybe you do your best thinking while walking in new places. Maybe you have your biggest insights when you're somewhere unfamiliar that strips away all the usual distractions and routines. This is such beautiful healing energy because it's showing you that solitude and adventure can coexist perfectly. You don't have to be constantly surrounded by people to have meaningful adventures, and you don't have to stay home to do deep inner work. You're learning that some of the most profound soul healing happens when you're alone in new environments, when you're forced to rely on your own inner compass. The Hermit is also about becoming your own guide, and I'm seeing that your adventurous experiences have been teaching you to trust your own instincts and judgment in ways you never have before. Each time you navigate a new situation successfully, each time you trust your gut and it leads you in the right direction, you're building this incredible foundation of self-trust that's healing years of self-doubt. The final card that came through was the Four of Cups, and initially I was like, wait, this seems like it's about being dissatisfied or bored. But then I realized this card is showing me the before picture. This represents where you were before you started honoring your adventure spirit, when you were feeling stuck in routine, when you were maybe taking your blessings for granted because everything felt so predictable and safe. The Four of Cups is showing me that your soul was actually sending you signals for a while that you needed something more, something different. Maybe you were feeling restless. Maybe you were daydreaming more than usual. Maybe you were feeling like life was just passing you by. But instead of ignoring those feelings or pushing them down, you actually listened to them. This card represents the moment when you realized that comfort and security are wonderful, but they're not enough on their own. Your soul needs variety, needs challenge, needs the stimulation that comes from new experiences. And recognizing that need, honoring it instead of judging it, that was the beginning of this healing journey. What's so beautiful about having this card in your reading is that it shows me you're never going back to that place of feeling stuck or settling. You've tasted what it feels like to honor your adventurous spirit, and now you know that this energy is a permanent part of who you are. You've integrated it into your life in a way that feels sustainable and authentic to your Cancer nature. You know what's really striking me about this whole reading is how intelligent your approach to adventure has been. You haven't abandoned your Cancer gifts of intuition, nurturing, and emotional intelligence. Instead, you've found ways to express these gifts through adventure. Maybe you're the one who researches and plans amazing experiences for your friends and family. Maybe you're the one who finds those hidden gems, those special places that feel magical and safe at the same time. Your adventure spirit is healing your soul because it's showing you that you can be all of who you are. You can be the caring, protective, intuitive Cancer and the curious explorer who's excited about what's around the next corner. You don't have to choose between security and growth, between comfort and excitement, between home and the world. And I think that's the deepest healing that's happening here. For so long, maybe you felt like you had to be one thing or another. Maybe you thought your love of comfort and familiarity meant you weren't cut out for adventure. Maybe you thought your sensitivity meant you couldn't handle the unpredictability that comes with new experiences. But what you're discovering is that your sensitivity is actually your superpower when it comes to adventure. You notice things other people miss. You have incredible intuition about people and places. You can sense the energy of a location or situation in ways that keep you safe and guide you toward the most meaningful experiences. Your nurturing nature means that even your adventures have this beautiful quality of care and thoughtfulness. You're not just collecting experiences, you're creating memories that nourish your soul and the souls of the people you share them with. And your love of comfort? That's not a limitation, that's wisdom. You know how to balance stimulation with rest, excitement with recovery, challenge with restoration. This makes your adventures more sustainable and more deeply healing because you're not burning yourself out or overwhelming your system. I'm also seeing that your adventure spirit is healing your relationship with fear. As a Cancer, you've probably always been pretty aware of potential dangers, pretty cautious about new situations. And while healthy caution is good, maybe sometimes that caution was keeping you smaller than you needed to be. But through these adventurous experiences, you're learning to distinguish between reasonable caution and fear-based limitation. You're learning that you can be smart and prepared and still be open to new experiences. You're learning that your intuition can guide you not just away from danger, but toward opportunities for growth and joy. Each time you try something new and it goes well, each time you navigate an unfamiliar situation successfully, each time you discover that you're more capable and resilient than you thought, you're healing old patterns of anxiety and self-doubt. You're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you realized, that your comfort zone is actually much bigger than you thought it was. What I love about your journey is how organic it's been. You haven't forced yourself into adventures that don't feel right for you. Instead, you've been following your genuine curiosity and interest, and that authentic approach is why the healing has been so profound. Your soul recognizes the difference between doing something because you think you should and doing something because it genuinely calls to you. And when you follow that authentic call to adventure, when you honor your real curiosity and interest, that's when the magic happens. That's when you discover parts of yourself you didn't even know existed. I'm getting the sense that this adventure energy is just getting started for you. The cards are showing me that you've built such a solid foundation of self-trust and confidence that you're ready for even bigger adventures, even more soul-expanding experiences. But the beautiful thing is that you'll approach these future adventures with the same wisdom and intuition you've developed. You'll continue to choose experiences that truly nourish your soul, rather than just checking boxes or trying to prove something to yourself or others. Your adventure spirit is healing your soul by showing you that growth and security can coexist, that you can honor your need for comfort and your need for stimulation, that you can be both the person who creates a beautiful, safe home and the person who explores the wider world with curiosity and joy. So, Cancer, as we wrap up this reading, I want you to really acknowledge how far you've come. The courage it takes for someone with your sensitive, comfort-loving nature to embrace adventure, that's not small. That's actually incredibly brave and shows such deep self-awareness and commitment to your own growth. Your adventure spirit isn't healing your soul in spite of your Cancer nature, it's healing your soul because of your Cancer nature. Your emotional intelligence, your intuition, your capacity for deep connection, these are the very qualities that make your adventures so meaningful and transformative. Keep trusting that inner voice that calls you toward new experiences. Keep believing in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Keep knowing that you can create a life that honors both your need for security and your need for growth. The cards are showing me that this healing journey through adventure is far from over, and honestly, I couldn't be more excited for you. You've discovered this incredible part of yourself, and now you get to spend the rest of your life exploring what that means and where it takes you. Remember, every time you say yes to an experience that genuinely excites you, every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you trust you're to navigate something new, you're not just having an adventure. You're literally healing your soul and becoming more fully yourself in the process.